Okay, and we're live. So I'm just going to check a few things here. Make sure everything's good. Hello. There you go, Ginny. Thank you. So here we go. Let's check if I am here. Yep. Okay, so we're live. Okay, very good. All right, so first of all, let's start the new year properly and say hello and Happy New Year to everyone. I hope everyone is well and looking forward to another great year. I know there's a lot of turmoil and trouble going on around the world, um, and that'll probably never change. Actually, it always has done. So I think that the best that we can do is to focus on ourselves somewhat, a little bit, without being selfish, but to focus on our own health, and that'll give us the best chance of helping others as well. So that's what I am doing. So I thought I'd also talk to people about making New Year's resolutions as well. I will be putting up a video about this, but if we can, a bit of a live Q&A, and anyone's welcome to join me today. We have an open mic session this morning, so let me know if you'd like to join, and I'll put the link in the comments for you, and we'll have a bit of a New Year chat. So the way I see it, there's a number of reasons why when we're talking about New Year's resolutions, most people are always going to, refer to something about their health. I want to get fitter, or I want to get stronger, or I want to join the gym, or so on and so on. Or I want to lose 10 pounds or more, and stick to my diet, and so on and so on. Okay, so as a trainer, and I've spent like many years going to different gyms around the world. It's the same everywhere. Everyone is the same this way. Like January is usually like a public gym's busiest month, and then it sort of just dies off throughout the rest of the year. And you get seasonal resolutions as well. A lot of people will want to get fit for summer, want to look better, want to look good for the beach, sort of thing. I think the biggest thing is that they start off with these great intentions, but they don't have an actual plan, So they have this big goal of, okay, I want to get buff, or I want to put on some muscle, or I want to lose weight, and so on. But they don't work on the plan on how to do that. They look at the end goal without looking at each step to get there, and actually implementing a routine. And I say this a lot when I was talking about Christmas holidays, for example. If you want to stick to your diet, you're giving yourself the best chance to stick to a diet plan is to stick to a routine. If you have a routine in place, you are more likely to stick to that, and achieve those goals, because a routine becomes habit. And it's your habits that make you successful in whatever you do. It doesn't matter whether it's health and fitness or anything else. It's our habits that make us who we are. So the whole idea of just setting a goal, setting goals is great, don't get me wrong, but you need to go further than that. You need to make it a routine, and that routine needs to you need to be so strict on that routine that it becomes a habit. Okay, like breathing, we do subconsciously. Our autonomic nervous system, takes control of that, and we breathe. But if we don't consciously teach ourselves to breathe properly on on a routine basis, we lose the ability to breathe properly, to breathe efficiently, you know. So we become mouth breathers and so on. So that's a really good example of just going with the flow, or consciously being aware of where you are at, and keeping track of it. That's what a routine does. So it's really the routine that makes you either successful or not. Okay, because if you don't use it, obviously you're not going to get there, are you? Um, it's same as like if you're using stepping stones to get down a footpath. If you don't take each step, you won't get there. Right? So the when you set a goal, for example, if you want to lose, you know, 20 pounds or so, or kilos, how are you going to do that? Ask yourself. Right? And then you need to think of a routine that fits your style, your lifestyle, the rest of your lifestyle, because you don't want to make it all about that either. You do people just still want to enjoy their life. So this is a little bit of a trick that I think that a lot of people could use as well. Um, I think ask yourself, there's a lot of people out there who would say, I'd love to try this or I'd love to do this, but I don't have the time. There's just not enough hours in the day. And don't get me wrong, today's lifestyle is very busy. We have work commitments, social commitments, and all these other things going on, children, and so on. So it is very difficult to find time. So I recently went through this myself. I'm trying to reschedule everything. Hello, Cynthia. Very nice of you to join me. Josephine, Happy New Year to you both. Really glad for you to join us. So, what I did recently is over a course of 5 days, I wrote down what I was doing, my routine, what I was going through, and what I was doing through those times. Now, I do have some difficulty with time because when you have ADHD, you sometimes suffer from what's called time blindness, right? You just lose time. You get distracted by something. You start, like social media, for example. These days, everyone has their nose buried in the screen, and you're just scrolling, listening to people online, and then you just keep doing that, and all of a sudden, hours are gone. You know, so it's a good idea before you set in a routine. Hey, Jay, how you doing, my man? Happy New Year. Thanks for joining me. So I think that it's a really good idea if you map out, just write down. You don't have to, try not to sugarcoat anything. Just write. Don't be emotional about it in any way. Don't. It's not about you know good or bad or anything like that. Just write down what you are doing and how long you did it for, and over the course of a week, say 5 days, work out how many hours throughout that day are you spending, like, scrolling social media, watching TV, or doing something that you could have been doing something else that you really would like to do, say, to go to the gym, learn an instrument or something, and just be honest about it. Don't there's no need to put any sort of emotion in it in any way. It's really just analyzing what you are doing through the day, and realize, be honest with yourself exactly where you could cut back, and, you know, times that you could be doing, um, what you what you what you plan on doing, you know? Um, so I think that that's another good way for you to, before you start any kind of New Year's resolution sort of thing. And that would show you that there is time for you to actually implement a routine that will help you get to where you wanna go, you know? Um, I think also some people have trouble, self-motivating as well. So it can be a good idea if you, you know, join the community, for example. Like there are many online communities that will support what you are trying to do. Um, so I think that even if you just want to go to the gym, for example, and I'm just using this for example because it doesn't have to be about health and fitness sort of thing. But there's always a group of people out there that are doing the same thing, going through the same problems as you are, and that can be very helpful for many people. However, I also find that um, one of the best ways to, or the best mindsets you can have when starting a New Year's resolution sort of thing. And keep in mind too, like, you don't have to wait to the end of the year to make a resolution. Right? Every day is a new day. Every day is the beginning of a new year. Okay, so you can do this at any time of the year. Um, but setting yourself a goal is and setting yourself into a routine is infinitely easier when you are not telling people about it. Okay, so best I think that the best thing you can do is just not talk about it to, especially to immediate family or friends or so on, because you're always going to have that seed of doubt given to you, whether they mean to or not. The people around you will always have that sort of seed of doubt, and that can be a big killer for many people. You so I think that it's a really good idea if you're going to start something. Don't tell anyone about it. Just do it, right? And let people ask at the end of the year, say, or whenever you achieve your goal. Let them ask, "How did you do that?" Rather than, "How are you going to do that?" Okay, because when we start talking about it before you even started, that's the biggest question people are going to say, "Oh, how are you going to do that?" Right, and that brings in that seed of doubt. So I think that's another big reason why people usually sort of, they stick to their resolutions maybe 2 to 4 weeks, and then after that, it's just back to the old habits. So those are probably the biggest reasons I think, anyway. I'm kind of rambling on here. So if there's anyone who wants to join me again, I'll put the link. Anyone's welcome to join me today, and we're just talking about New Year's resolutions and so on. So anyone is welcome and free to join. We can have a chat. So those are some of the common reasons I see as throughout my life. I've seen a lot of people come in to or start training, for example, because I am a coach. It's something I've just noticed a lot, and you notice this in gyms as well. The busiest month is like January, February of the year, and then it dies off. But even throughout the whole year, the busiest times are usually the end of the week, okay, or um, like weekends, not so much. People are out drinking and having fun. Some of the diehards will sort of go and do a bit of a workout before they go drinking and so on. But on average, then you'll get Monday morning will be busy because everyone wants to work off the weekend sort of thing. And it sort of dies off in the middle of the week. And then, Thursday, Friday comes around and, they want to get ready for the weekend again. So it's kind of just the way gyms go, I guess. People work in cycles. But again, having a routine makes everything uh, far easier for you to stick to a plan. Like even when you are like Jonathan has a great actually my Carnival Muscle has a great way of doing this. He micromanages his whole day, and this is a great way to implement a routine because even if you just like for example going like one day for the like today going to the gym, have the plan of what you're going to be doing at the gym. Because if you don't have a structured plan on what you're going to do for each day, then basically you're just going to sort of wander around and not know what to do. So I think this is really good to micromanage each day for your routine, you know. Let's see. Ah, good. Switching up the Celtic sea salt. Well done. Baja Gold sea salt has pretty much eliminated my tendency to get foot calf cramp. Ah, good. Very good. Lots of minerals. Sleeping, big difference. Quit the Redmond Ridge. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean, that Redmond real salt had a pretty big following for a while there. I think, especially in the carnival community. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I've always stuck to. I have. It took me a while to find a really good salt too. Actually, I use a brand here. It's a real Murray River salt. It's hand harvested flakes actually. So you know there are some really good products out there, especially these days. It's getting much better. It's getting easier to find good sea salt products like that. And sea salt is fantastic for you, especially like not just ingesting it, but also if you have it in the bath, whether it's hot or cold bath, it's really good for you to help absorb into through your skin as well. Sea salt is fantastic. I have in my ice bath. I have a hand harvested sea salt that I put in my bath because I'm going to be soaking in the ice anyway. So it's really good for you. That's good. You've eliminated those night cramps. Well done. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of cramps can be due to a number of reasons, um, you know, lack of minerals, lack of circulation. Um, circulation is actually a pretty big one. You get, like, for example, if you're sitting on an airplane or a train for a long time and, um, this could even be in an office. You're sitting in an office chair for most of the day. It's pretty difficult. You do get muscle cramps because you're not getting that venous return. Okay, the calf muscles. This is like a second heart. The calf muscles are like a second heart because they need to pump that blood back up to your heart from your lower limbs. Okay, so circulation is actually a pretty big part. But then you get oxygen delivery as well. So low CO2 levels also causes muscle cramps. Okay, because without CO2 to help deliver that oxygen to the cell, it's not going to get there, and you get cramps. So there's a number of good reasons that you get cramps, and whether it's either lower limbs or anywhere else, it's the same. Same with headaches, actually. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people do get cramps, especially I think when you when especially when you've been sort of changing your diet as well. Um, this the I think the good thing is a lot of people when you eat meat, you get more CO2 production, but um, you lose a lot of minerals as well because you're well, not what it takes a while for your body to adjust to your new diet and so on. Too much water. Also, if you're flushing out too many minerals, electrolytes, and so on, that will also cause cramps as well. So, yeah. no more fear whilst in bed. That's good. Excellent. Make a sudden movement. Yeah, yeah. That'll wake you up pretty quick, doesn't it? Yeah, if you get a muscle cramp in your calf, yeah, and your toes all seize up, it's like, ah, don't it'll wake up very quickly. 2 years in carnival. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Excellent. Well done. You know. Yeah, it's good to be back on the proper diet, isn't it? Um, but yeah, I mean, there's always um, more that we can do. There's always going to be, even on the proper human diet, things are going to be a lot more stable. But you're still going to have troubles. You know, everything's going to fluctuate. Our bodies are constantly changing, so you always get that. Okay. Hello there. Happy New Year, my friend. Thanks for joining us. So it's a good thing to try and stay on top of these things, and keep reminding yourself, the salt intake, for example. I have a lot of salt on my food, actually, my steak when I cook, especially. But I also have it, like I said, yeah, I also have the salt in my ice bath, um, and I also have it in my water. So I actually do use a lot of salt, actually. My drinking water, um, I have a reverse osmosis water filter. Um, I refrigerate it with, and then once it's filtered, I will remineralize it with my sea salt and a few drops of iodine. Okay, and that's what I drink all the way through. All day. That's all I drink, actually. Just water with salt and a few drops of iodine in it. So I use a lot of salt, you know, um, and that's something a lot of people need to take account of too. We all sort of get into that, don't have too much salt sort of thing, but our bodies are made up of mostly water, 60% water, and so on. So, and water, salt helps us to utilize that water more. Um, so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to have as much salt as you need. You know. 2.5 years. Cynthia doing awesome. That's great. When I used to get lower leg cramp while sleeping, it usually resulted in the cat getting yeah, yeah, because it sleeps on my legs. Yeah, yeah, I've been there, done that. I used to have a little dog who used to sleep on my like on the end of the bed. Um, Cute little thing. But yeah, sometimes I tend to kick actually when I'm sleeping, and the poor little thing went flying across the room one day. Yeah, until it hit the door. Yeah, cats. Yeah, just let me also my cats. Yeah, yeah, cats. Yeah, cats will cop it. They sleep on the end of the bed. They will get it. Yeah, but yeah, they're strong, luckily, and they're quick. They're quick to react. Yeah, poor things. Uh, yeah, but yeah. So again, don't be afraid to eat salt. A lot of it, I have it all day long. From my time I wake up and have a bath, my ice bath, drink water, and each meal. I have 2 meals a day on average. Sometimes I'll have more, but every meal that I have a lot of salt on as well. So even if it's just eggs or steak, yeah, I use a lot of salt every day. Um, but there's, like I said before, there's also other contributors to muscle cramps. All right, like low CO2, so poor breathing, circulation. Okay, movement really helps. Um, So even just going for a walk before bed, that would really help. Like a short walk before you sleep will also help you to get into a cardiac coherent breathing. So it allows you to calm your vagus nerve. So you're breathing in for 5 seconds, out for 5 seconds, just steady state breathing. and that will activate your vagus nerve, calm everything, put you in that rest and digest mode. And the walk will also help with circulation. You know, breathing also helps with this, of course. But you want that, especially in your calf muscles. You want that venous return back for for the rest of your body, and yeah, that could really help you to sleep as well. So, okay, if I'm home all day, I eat 3 times a day. Yeah, I'm one of those who immediately wants to eat when I wake up. A large chunk of cheese, half a pound of bacon. Yeah, well, it could be the cheese that makes you want to eat too. Yeah, it can be quite addictive, and yeah, um, yeah, casein and so on. But if that works for you, that's all good. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with having breakfast. If you want to eat when you first get up, that's good. It's not a big deal. Um, I usually wait a few hours, but that's just me. I like to do, like, especially if I do breath work, and I do recommend that if you do breath work in the morning, especially in activation breath work, that you do it on an empty stomach. Um, you'd be surprised, actually. It's quite, even when I'm hungry, if I do my breath work, I'll find that I'm not so hungry afterwards because my energy levels have risen after doing my breath work. My circulation is all gone up, and I just don't feel like eating after that. So, especially in activation breath work. Um, but I recommend doing that on an empty stomach anyway because it can be quite active, and when you do prolonged breath holds, for example, uh, it's very difficult to do that, or especially on an inhale hold, it's very difficult to do that on a full stomach or if a stomach with food in it anyway. So it can be a little bit uh, upsetting to the stomach. Ice bars are the same. Actually, they can sort of um, throw a wrench in your stomach and your digestion because it's a hormetic stressor. Okay, so you when you do a ice bath or breath work, these are hormetic stresses. So you're going to get a cortisol spike, and that's why it's great to do it first thing in the morning, because that's your wake up hormone. But it's going to get you out of that vagal state, which is your rest and digest. So it's a really good idea to do this before you eat, because if you are doing it after you eat, you're going to lose a lot of the nutrients, because when you're in that sympathetic state, nervous state, the absorption rate goes down, and you get conditions like leaky gut if it's left uncontrolled. If you have an uncontrolled nervous system, you're in that sympathetic nervous state all the time. That's also causes leaky gut and poor digestion and poor nutrient absorption. Okay. I asked Dr. Kiltz, the fertility doctor, about what percentage of adult women have female problems. Shockingly, he said 60 to 80%. Yeah. Google confirms 80%. Yeah. All bad food. Yeah, exactly. It is. Well, it's not just bad food, it's bad lifestyle. This is another good reason why, I mean, comfort, I believe, comfort kills us as well. You know, we are so used to convenience um and being comfortable these days that we don't want to get out of that comfort zone. Like, we like to feel warm all the time. We like to have easy access to snacks and whatever is easy to prepare and eat and fast. Like, that's great. Even fruit, for example, it's one of the addictive parts of it is that it's so easy to just grab it without any preparation, just eat it. And junk food is the same. It's like, a candy bar, chocolate, or the frozen pizza or whatever else. It's all just so easy, you know, and it's our easy lifestyles that is killing us as well. So, um, and I think, yeah, this is a great example. Like 80% of women have a lot of trouble, um, mostly to do with hormone production and so on, same as everyone else. But the way out of it is a proper diet, and some lifestyle changes. Ice bathing is fantastic. Breath work, also fantastic. These are the three staples for me. Okay, diet, icing, and breath work. Um, and this year, in fact, I'm even embarking on a couple of things that are going to uh, improve my knowledge with breath work as well. I'm actually studying with Shaolin monks at the moment for this year. 12 months. I'm doing a 12-month course with Shaolin monks to study their breathing techniques. And I'm also going to be free diving because free divers have some other great breathing techniques. They're mostly inhale holds and so on. But did you know, you may not have known this, but there's a world record for holding your breath underwater held by a free diver in his 60s now, I think. But the record for holding his breath underwater was 24 minutes, 37 seconds. 24 minutes. More than 24 and a half minutes. That's incredible. So these are things that I'm studying this year, okay, and working on. It's all very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting. Um, I find it fascinating, actually. It's really fascinating stuff. So, yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? 24 and a half minutes holding your breath underwater. It's absolutely amazing. Um, so, yeah, I mean, this is the lifestyle of today. This is why women have so many problems with fertility. Um, this is another reason why declining populations like Western countries, I mean, there's a number of reasons for this. Okay, like there's a huge abortion rate in countries like America, and here, like over in America, it's like over 1 million babies per year, which is just absolutely disgusting. Um, but then you have, dying fertility rates. Japan, especially, has been sort of um, concerned about this in the last couple of decades. Really, they've been really concerned about their declining population, and a lot of this is due to diet. They have a heavy soy, sort of the heavy processed sort of soy-based diet at the moment. Lots of tofu and anything that's got soy in it, and of course they eat it sort of because they think it's a health food. Um, Most Westerners eat it whether they know it or not because it's in like every processed food. But these xenoestrogens that we have in our diet and everything else around us, even in our clothes, we actually absorb these xenoestrogens from clothes like polyester clothing and like manufactured fibers and so on. They all have a very strong effect on uh, your reproductive hormones. Okay, whether it's male or female. Okay, lowering your testosterone, for example, is one reason. It absolutely kills your testosterone. Xenoestrogens do. But apart from that, apart from the falling population, it's not just that. It's also destroying your immune system because you need testosterone for EPO production, your kidneys, and blood cell production from there. Right. So these estrogens in our environment, in our clothing, in our food, in our drinks, and from these seed oils. Seed oils are very strong xenoestrogens. Okay, it's not just the omega-6 imbalance or the oxidative stress and everything else. It's also the very, very, very strong xenoestrogen effect that seed oils have on both male and female bodies. That's why these females have so many problems as well, and men too. Um, so of course, like I say, I always say those three main things like diet, icing, and breath work will help. Makes a very big difference. Um, it doesn't surprise me that there's a there is crime at these stupid US convenience stores. Oh yeah, these idiots are also addicted to that stuff and they're either stealing, robbing, or begging. Yeah, no, that's right. It's true. All very addictive stuff. Do you think Japan's fertility problem is from diet? Surprises me. I was thinking they were heavy on eating meat. Well, they are. They are very, very heavy on, or certainly much heavier than most people. Most people think. Yeah, well, I mean, there is that social influence as well. There's a number of factors there, Cynthia. So, I mean, it's a lot of soy boys, and I mean, you get your extremes in every population, right? You get a certain population that is more on this side of things and doing things this way, and you have all these other people doing these other things, right? And yes, while they do eat a lot of meat in Japan, um, there's a certain amount of population that also eat a lot of soy. Okay, yeah, soy sauce is very popular in Japan, for example. Um, they eat a lot of sauces actually, a lot of sauces that are heavy in seed oils and so on. Deep frying has always been a part of their food, but since the 90s, they've started. I mean, we did it. We started doing it in the like 70s in the West, but Japan started using seed oils for deep frying in the 90s. Um, Again, heavy, estrogen effect. Okay. Um, and then there's the population that eat a lot of tofu, and they think that like natto, for example, is supposed to be healthy, but they're just fermented soybeans, right? Um, and it's just common knowledge in Japan that they think that soy is healthy, and it's in everything, and it's also in foods that they don't know, like other processed foods, of course, like the West, like heavy processed, like chocolate or jerky or um, you know, pretty much anything that's processed, right? So over the last couple of decades, especially the last 3 decades, they've started, they've have all the same increase in diseases that the West has. Just they're just a little bit behind us is all. So they still get diabetes and cancers and high blood pressure and heart disease and dementia and everything else just like that. They're really not the big healthy population that the world seems to think they are. They still have the same problems we do. They're just a little bit further behind us per capita is all. But they do have a very rapidly declining um, fertility rate and birth rate population. So, and I think that is largely due to the diet, largely due to the xenoestrogens. They also, younger generation too. They don't wear as many natural clothes as the older generation, and so on. So they all have the same problems that we do. Really, can you predict the first adverse effect of GLP ones? 400-pound box get started on an approved one. God, really too tight. Um, well, yeah, I think you're gonna get. I mean, anything that lowers, um, any kind of hormone production, all right, is going to have profound effects on your body. Okay, so whether it be these GLP-1s or anything else, okay, this is going to do it a lot. It's going to do it look a lot faster than say our poor diet has done so far, like over the last 100 years. But these ones are going to be these GLP-1s. They're going to be. I think you're going to find there'll be. I mean, these are crimes against humanity. Honestly, they really are. They're going to be an increased risk of death. Certainly, I mean, yeah, the death rate's going to climb for sure. So I would say that's going to be the biggest effect. But yeah, I think actually the Simpsons actually predicted this. Actually, these two late GLP-1 weight loss drugs and stuff like that. People are losing their eyesight. Okay, it'd be one of the most obvious ones, probably the more common one. People losing their eyesight, um, and other part, maybe blood pressure problems, all sorts of problems that can arise from these drugs. But I think ultimately, what you're going to see is a far a rapid increase in the death rate. So that's what I would predict anyway. But it's only blindness or poor vision anyway, like vision loss and so many other things. So yes, to me, it's enough that he has been sort of away, and now all this, I'm trying to get quiet. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. Um, yeah, I mean obviously a big guy, 400 pounds is huge. Um, that in itself is a big risk, isn't it? But to take drugs for any kind of drugs that is going to affect your hormones in any way is going to have a very detrimental effect on your health. Um, yeah, I mean, there's already a number of court cases going on right now around the world, and in America, in particular, people suing these companies over side effects, vision loss, heart attacks, and all sorts of other things going on. There's like billions of dollars at stake now because of these drugs. I've heard that thyroid cancer is extremely high with those. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Um, Increased death rate, anything that affects your hormone production in any way, okay, is going to be in a negative way. Obviously, is going to be um, life risking. Okay, you bring on diseases, you bring on very very real life threatening diseases like cancers. Okay, I wonder about his waist circumference and tend to lean toward 7 feet. Wow, yeah, that's huge. Seems hard to believe. Yeah, it does seem hard to believe. When people talk about their weight, they act like it sort of piled on overnight. Like it's not their fault. It's not the biggest thing is that they take no responsibility for it, right? And I know it's difficult. These days, the food is very addictive, and they're designed that way. Food is very addictive, but we all go through that. We all have the same food supply, unfortunately. This is like, I mean, it all comes down to our habits, and like I was talking about at the beginning of this for New Year's resolutions, right? Our habits and routines make us who we are, and whether we are successful at something or not, and whether that's health or business or anything else. Um, I know, I know. Don't get me wrong. Like I know it's difficult for people. You have we all have these foods that we love, and we would love to continue to eat. Like ice cream is one of my favorites. I would eat that all day long if I could. If ice cream was as healthy as steak, that's all I would eat. All right, that's the only thing I would eat all day long, no matter what. And I would put down many, many kilos of it every day. Um, but you have to make a choice, don't you? You have to make a choice. Are you going to be do you want to be sick? Do you want to be invalid? Do you want to be spend the last few years of your life in bed? You know, these are choices that we all have to make. And unfortunately, it is difficult, don't get me wrong. But unfortunately, a lot of people are just used to comfort. And like I said, it's comfort that kills us. Yeah. Stumbling into carnivore is the luckiest thing. So, no, that's good. Yeah, I mean, we I think the answers are all out there, and they sort of come to us when we need them the most. Um, and yeah, I agree. Yeah, it sort of came to me at the time I needed it the most, and yeah, the knowledge, it just I don't know, it's the universe, isn't it, working its way. Um, my boss, it seems like his brain fogs, yeah, screams. Yeah, so hard to communicate anything to him. Yeah, I mean, sugar sugar especially has such a detrimental effect on our brain. Um, fructose especially, because it actually fructose, um, because it sort of bypasses any sort of safety in our liver, because it's meant to actually give us a fatty liver for the winter sort of thing. But it also gives us that brain fog, like it passes the blood-brain barrier, gets like because it gets into our bloodstream, passes the blood-brain barrier, directly causes, um, those triglycerides and so on, that directly causes the brain fog. So, of course, the more you eat it, and of course, if you eat it all year round, that brain fog is gonna get very, very strong, and then you get diseases like, and of course, low-fat diets and so on, uh, heavy fructose and heavy sugar carb diets. That's why you get the, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and so on. Uh, this is not I mean, this is common knowledge stuff now. It really is. It's not new anyway. Well, I suppose I shouldn't, say common knowledge. It keeps it actually is kind of difficult to find sometimes, um, but it's not new. It's not new that we know this stuff. But, yeah, it's very difficult to communicate with these people. I have the same trouble. I have people around me, very heavily brain fogged. They eat a poor diet. They eat a lot of sugar. They drink a lot of alcohol. Um, and yet, they have they complain about all these illnesses, pop about 15 pills a day and still won't listen. So it's just the way it is, unfortunately. Yeah, well, Lee, yeah, I'm lucky that I still have my digestive tract, I guess. But yeah, Lee is quite a rough story too, doesn't he? It's like, um, obviously not a life-threatening problem, but yeah, it's a great example of what food actually gets digested as well. Yeah. He's a good guy. Um, and I can see how he must have been dealing with the depression after that as well. It'd be quite depressing to sort of walk around with that colostomy bag there. Um, but he's very open about it, very good, and he does great stuff, does great videos and stuff as well. So he's a good guy. Oh yeah, that was really nice of her, wasn't it? That really touched me a lot, actually. It's so nice of her to to do that. Actually, I was very touched by that. Um, to me, it's I tend to I don't really think about my story so much. I keep looking towards the next step. Like for me, it's always about the next step. Like this year, I've got a few things, really cool things going on, and so I just want to sort of keep on progressing. Um, but every now and then you have to pause and sort of think, well, wow, actually, I have actually been through all this, and yeah, so you get those little reminders. Yeah, it was a cool song. Thank you, Jess. The biggest thing Carnival sold for me was a big surprise. Hemorrhoids. Oh yes, yeah, cured in the first 7 weeks. uh, 2.5 years. Never came back. Well done. Excellent. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you can't tell doctors that, can you? Um, recently speaking to a few months ago, um, October was for me 11 years remission. October last year, it was 11 years remission. So I kind of celebrated with like I had a phone call from my oncologist and so on, and he's asking me if I was still taking medication for reflux, um, which I haven't done for years. Um, he was having a problem. He's actually having my oncologist is having a problem with reflux. So I said, well, I don't need it because I just don't eat carbs anymore. And same with the hemorrhoids, and I had such bad hemorrhoids going through chemotherapy because you spend years on chemotherapy and the poor crappy diets, and they keep, of course, severe IBS, and like nothing would sort of stay in there long enough to absorb anything. So my digestive tract was just passing by. But again, they keep telling you to eat more fiber. Eat more fiber, eat more fiber. You got to be kidding me, right? It's like fiber is like the least of my problem, right? Um, well, actually, fiber was the problem, but needing it, was that was the least thing I needed at the time. But yeah, it's quite amazing that um, even after years of not taking these drugs, my oncologist is still asking, "How'd you get past that? How'd you get past this? How'd you get this? And how'd you stop that?" I said, "Well, I just stopped eating carbs." Simple, easy answer. Mhm. Of any kind. The doctor basically had no opinion about the problem and had eventually had to schedule it. Yeah, because it was much. Yeah, NED. Yep, NED. Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. I mean, I don't have the I have no evidence of the disease itself, but I still have, because of the treatment, though I still have a diminished blood cell production. Um, but I have been fighting that, and that has actually improved significantly. Actually, I'm actually in the normal healthy range whenever I get tested now, because of my icing and breath work, and of course, the healthy diet. Um, but these things make a very big difference. You got to get out of those comfort zones, and it's not. Yeah, I think that. Um, Yeah, I love it. Actually, I really enjoy the ice bath. Actually, a lot of people, when I see people, talk about ice bath, they say, "Well, they struggle to get in. They struggle to. They look at the ice and they think, well, it's going to be cold, sort of thing, and they sit there for half an hour, and it's like, well, you know, I actually enjoy it. I think it's just one of those things that you get used to. Like I say with the routine, if you make a routine and stick to that routine, eventually it becomes a habit. And anything that becomes a habit, you begin to, I mean, you see the positive of of why you do it. Okay, you say, okay, I'm doing this because it gives me this, right? Because it gives me um, better hormone production, or because it's progressing my journey. It's making me feel better. It's making me feel healthier. Then you start to enjoy it. So if you like going to the gym, for example, like, oh, today's leg day. Oh, I hate leg day. Everyone says they hate leg day. I actually really enjoy it because when I do these sessions, I know the benefit and I look forward to that benefit later on, you know? So that I think in itself is motivating. So, like, a lot of people say, "Oh, I just don't feel like it. I just don't wanna do this today," and they'll struggle to get there and they struggle to actually do it. But if you just think about why you are doing it, why am I doing this today? Why am I doing leg day? Why am I doing this ice bath? Well, because it's giving me this, it's giving me this, and so on and so on. Then you, I think you'll learn to enjoy it, and I do. I really enjoy it. I love sitting in the ice. I almost fall asleep. You know, it's fun. I'll just sit in the ice bath and just drift off and breathe calmly. I do. Um, I usually will do something like cardiac coherent breathing while I'm in the ice because it helps to calm and the vagus nerve and activation and so on. But sometimes I'll do like 4-7-8 breathing or anything like that too. But yeah, that also helps to warm your body internally. Um, there's a great there's a great guy that has written a couple of books on um, ice baths, and he's actually started an ice bath company because of it. Um, I'm trying to think of his name, um, Dr. Seeger, Dr. Thomas Seeger. That's it. If you have a look at Dr. Thomas Seeger's work, a lot of great information about ice bathing. So you could check that out. I also have a protocol for which you can, if you go back and have a look at the last live I did. I tell people the protocol they should use if you want to put on muscle or get fit, and or anything else that you want to do. Actually, ice baths are great. I can't believe my hair has gotten dark again. Yeah, with much less grey. Yeah, Mitch and Bark. Let's say, yeah, it is possible. Well, I agree. Like, actually, my beard, you see that little bit of little patches of grey there. That's the only grey I have. I'm 52 years old. Actually, in March, I'm 53 years old. And that's the only grey I have. So, yeah, definitely, it is possible because I think obviously hair loss or hair uh, graying largely just comes down to lack of nutrients. And we've gotten to the point I really enjoy the exercise session. Good, excellent. Cynthia, that's good. I don't think I could ever feel that way about cold plunges. Well, you didn't feel that way about exercise either at first, did you? Yeah. So no one ever does. Like, and it's just like going to the gym, like, or exercise or lifting weights, right? Start small, so you don't have to start like real cold and don't have to chuck in a heap of ice. And, yeah, just jump in. Start, like lukewarm and sort of like lower your temperature every day, just a little bit, or every week. Enough. Lower your temperature every week, and that's enough. It doesn't have to be freezing cold. Hey, Jonathan, how you doing, my man? Up late or up early? Happy New Year, my brother. 62 now. Feels like in my 30s or 40s. Very good. Excellent. Good to hear, man. I've been doing injectable copper for about 6 months. Okay. Hair grows back a lot faster. Um, not on the like, not on the noggin. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did hear that, like, um, Carnival's, soldier, he put me onto, drinking water out of a copper mug, right? He said that since he started drinking water from a copper mug, which I still sometimes do, um, his hair color and hair growth has actually improved quite a bit. So yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Like from copper. So it makes me wonder maybe incorporate a little bit of liver every now and then might help as well, especially if you are like us and you grew too fast for your hair. So do that up late. Okay, I did round one of sleep already. Fair enough. Now sleep in rounds. Happy New Year to you too. Excited for what you have coming up. Oh yeah, I've got some great stuff coming up this year actually. Um, the getting into the science and the techniques of breath work has really opened up a lot of things for me recently. So I'm doing yeah, I mean you already know what I'm doing with some of it. But I'm also taking on a new sport and I'm going to because I'm very interested in the breath techniques of free divers. So I've start swimming again and maybe get into free diving because the world record for holding your breath, for holding their breath underwater, this this old guy, he's I think he's in his 60s now, but the world record, I think you might have seen this on Facebook. I posted it, but 24 and a half minutes holding their breath underwater. It's just amazing, you know, absolutely incredible. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, I think that like hairless actually suits a lot of people, and to be honest, I, I've like I've been shaving my head since I was 18 actually because I used to do a lot of swimming. Um, I never really liked the process of going and getting your hair cut either. I don't like going to hairdressers for some reason. I just don't like it. I'm not comfortable doing that sort of stuff. So I haven't been to hairdressers in maybe 30 plus years. Um, just shave it myself and with a razor and in the shower. It's very easy. Mandy, hello. Nice of you to join us. Hope you have a great new year. Wish you all the very best. Yeah, I imagine the copper mug water would help detract fluoride ions. Yeah, yeah, definitely would, and shift them out of. There's an amazing film on Freediver based in true story and amazing to watch. Oh yeah, there was a recent one. I think that Italian girl is she's got the world record for women anyway. What's it called? I think I watched it recently actually. It's quite good documentaries about free divers actually. But just imagine like holding their breath for so long. It's incredible. I mean, there's a very big difference though. Like when you free divers, for example, they do inhale holds, right? So when you do like they do calm breathing and then do a very deep breath and hold it, um, compared to exhaled holds. Because when you inhale and hold, you're oxygenating your body a lot, so you can hold it for a lot longer. Um, See, I've even done a 7-minute hold myself, doing it that way. Um, an exhale hold, okay, where you've pushed all the air out, especially after doing like an activation breath work, a very active breath work, and then push all the air out and then hold is much more difficult that way too for a prolonged period. There are ways that and exercise that we can do to increase our CO2 tolerance and our breath hold the length of which we can hold our breath for. There are a number of things that you can do, like for example, walking or holding your breath, or even just static holds where you're not doing anything, just relax, breathe, and then let the air out, and then just hold or inhale and hold. I've also started doing like I'm doing a free diving course soon. So I'm actually started doing underwater sprints in the pool. Um, but I recommend don't recommend doing things like that underwater just yet for beginners. Um, I also do sprints on the bike, like on my stationary bike. I'll do sprints every minute on the minute, but for those sprints, 10 to 15 seconds at the moment, but will get longer. I hold my breath, like I do an exhale hold, not an inhale hold, an exhale hold, and sprint, and that is actually increasing my CO2 tolerance and my the length of breath hold as well. So there's a number of exercises we can do to increase those holds. Mm. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I didn't really like my when I had hairstyles and stuff like that. I thought it was kind of just a bit strange. Never really liked it much. Um, I like how being underwater sounds. Oh yeah, being underwater is fantastic. I love the water. Wish I could experience that same thing. Oh yeah, yeah. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Like being underwater, yeah, the sounds underneath. Sound carries a long way underwater as well. Yeah, a restaurant like that would be a pretty good idea, actually, wouldn't it? You know, deepest breath free diver. Yeah, that's her name. Yeah, Alicia Zucchini. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. The documentary I watched actually recently, her boyfriend died rescuing her actually from a dive that they were doing, but they mistimed. But pretty hard. So exhale, hold your breath while sprinting. Yes, yeah. Exhale. So for 50 seconds, just breathe normally. Try to breathe like even after the sprint, the recovery breath is as slow as possible. So even though I mean I slow down the pedaling obviously, so I'm not sprinting, but I still keep on pedaling. But the inhale recovery breath is as slow as possible. So don't do the sort of try and recover. Just controlled recovery, controlled breathing in and out for recovery. Hey, Rick, how you doing, my man? Um, so it's an exhaled hold before I sprint. I just breathe everything out, then sprint, and then recovery breath is as slow as possible. Okay, and that's helping to increase my CO2 tolerance. I don't recommend people do that to start with. Okay, it's something you need to build up to. It's not quite the same, but in Mexico they have the longest underwater caves. Oh, that's cool. I recommend that for a challenge. But it's not holds. Yeah, I get claustrophobic when it comes to caves. That might be in somewhere I can't move. Rick, how you doing, my man? Happy New Year, my man. Hey, well, actually, Rick, if you want to join me, the link is at the top there, but I'll put it in here again. If anyone you want to join me for our first New Year chat, you're most welcome. There's the link. So glad to have you on. I was watching another live and cleaning out my shop. Oh, okay. Cool. I didn't realize there's other lives going on today. But there you go. Fundamentality of freedom of interest. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we see them as being very extreme. Um, they push themselves to the point where they black out, and some quite often die. Um, but I think you'll find like most professional athletes, or like that level athlete, what is kind of like on the same mentality. They will push themselves and do anything it takes to get there. Like in bodybuilding, for example, they'll take as many steroids as it takes or any supplements that it takes to get there, sort of thing. So I think that's kind of a similar mentality, though. It's really just about what you really like. But I find it fascinating that I mean, the chosen sport, like free diving, like getting as deep as you can into the water. Yeah, it shows like a complete fearless of completely fearless of anything that you know just swimming down into the dark, and yeah, it's quite interesting stuff. Yeah, interesting that they're so opposite than what the anaerobic versus aerobic stuff makes sense. Oh yeah, um, yeah, completely opposite to what I was taught as well. Like in sports science, like don't stop breathing. You got to breathe. Um, like when I was younger, when I was in my 20s, me and my friend, I mean, it was just a fun thing to do. I never thought about the benefits of doing breath holds myself, right? But we would chase each other up. We used to do a lot of running, and like I used to do marathons and stuff. And we would train. I used to love running um, mountains and hills and stairs. I just that was my favorite way to run. And we would chase each other up. Like we would just try and see how far up the mountain we could run while holding our breath. You know, and everyone around us had just thought, "Oh, you're crazy. If you do that, you're going to have a heart attack or pass out. Or you're going to, kill yourself," sort of thing. But it was just a fun thing that we used to do. Um, I never realized at the time it was actually a very healthy thing for me to be doing. So, um, yeah, it was interesting though. And I'll try and get back to that now. So, like I used to do quite well doing that. But yeah, I'm quite enjoying using the bike and using the pool for you know, under like breathless sprints. I guess you call it breathless sprints. Yeah, so sprinting while breath holding. It's good. I don't question why they do it. Yeah, it's a good reason. There's no reason to quit you. You can't quit. It just is. This is actually something I've learned recently too. Um, there's no, you don't need to question everything. I mean, things they just are. That they're there because that's just the way it is. Um, yeah, why question it? It's one sport I could do one day, perhaps. Yeah, yeah. There, I hope you get to, man. I think it's really cool, actually. So, yeah, if you're not busy, mate, yeah, jump on in. Yeah, good to have a chat. Yeah, I think um, there's a number of. I mean, there's always something out there. I think we're pretty much spoiled for choice these days. There's a lot of things that we can do. But I think some of the more interesting ones are the what most people call extreme, like that, like free diving. I think is one of the coolest things. I've always loved being in the water myself. Always loved swimming, and always like, uh, yeah, I think it'd be cool to when you are swimming, like when you're underwater, it's like meditating. Like it's so quiet. The only thing you can hear is like the sounds in the water. So there's whether the other animals or whatever. But apart from that, it's a real peacefulness to it, really peaceful. I've always when I was younger, I used to do a lot of snorkeling, especially go out in the Great Barrier Reef, do some snorkeling and do some fish hunting and stuff like that. Yeah, I've done some investigation, some on how earthquake might work mechanistically for pain. I think it shifts the focus of control onto us, which stimulates safe system response. Oh, absolutely. Um, well, your vagus nerve controls pain, you so if you're activating your vagus nerve, you get, and anyone can do this, like just an instant calming breath, right? Just take a deep breath in, as deep as you can, feel your stomach, and then feel your diaphragm, and then feel your lungs, okay? And then pause for just a 1, 2 seconds. Okay, just and then slowly let it out, just really slowly, really, really slowly. Even just that, you get an instant relaxation, you know, all your muscles relax. If you do that for a few times, right, do that for, say, 5 minutes, you activate the vagus nerve, and that puts you in that rest and digest and that total relaxation. You feel your whole body relax. A lot of pain comes from, especially when it's muscular pain, um, comes from the tension you hold in your nervous system. Because pain is really not held in the muscles themselves. It's actually held in the nervous system itself, right? And when you relax the nervous system, you're releasing that pain. So the muscles relax because when the nervous system is tense, you get muscle contraction as well. Yeah. So even around like a structural injury, the muscles will um, spasm around that injury to try and protect because it feels like it has to protect that that injury, it has to protect the spine or it has to protect whatever. That happened to me, when I was surfing in my late 20s. When I was 28, I actually fractured the 7 vertebrae in my back, the lower part of my neck and down the a little bit further. But the biggest pain, the biggest trauma came from this muscle spasm. All the muscles around them, or around my vertebra, spasmed and tightened so much, like I couldn't even sort of turn my head, sort of thing. And it took a long time, actually, physiotherapy and so on, to actually release all that. But at the time, I didn't know about breathwork and activating the vagus nerve and so on and so on. So, you know, pain is really held in your nervous system, and that reacts, and that will, make everything else react. The muscles will contract and spasm and cause more pain. So yeah, definitely breath work will help. Indoor skydiving is fun. Oh yeah, that's really cool too, isn't it? The indoor skydiving stuff. It's like super expensive here though. It's like I think it's like um $600 here for like a 20-minute like thing. It's like crazy expensive. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool actually. I've always loved the idea of flying actually. Yeah, like flying. The next to Boston, probably. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too. Yeah, I mean, I was very lucky. It was just fractures, and it didn't actually affect my nervous system or, I mean, the the yeah, my cords and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was very lucky actually. But the nervous system, I mean, my Vegas, everything just tensed up, and I had such muscle spasm in my back. Even to touch my back was extreme pain. Like, even just a touch like that, I was so sensitive that the muscles are so tight that it felt like, a needle driving through my skin. That's how bad it was. Yeah. It took me nearly 2 years to recover from that. I was surfing actually, so I the board broke. I was surfing at the time, and the board snapped in half, and the wave sort of nosedived my face into the sand, I went down into the water and in the sand, and, I hyperextended my back. My my face was face planted in the sand, and then my feet sort of went over this way, and my spine sort of did this, and my muscles all spasmed up, and I broke 7 vertebrae from, the middle of my neck all the way down into the rest of it. So it was very close, but, yeah, it was a struggle to get out of that for about 2 years. It's cold in Iowa, that's good. Cold's good. So buried in junk, I don't think I can finish to be online. That's alright, man. That's alright. Yeah, indoor skydiving is about £50, £60, yeah, $60. Wow, that's cheap. Yeah, 3 times 2 minute rounds, roughly. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's nice and cheap. I wonder, does that take any pressure off your back while you're floating there? I'm just wondering how that feels. Um, After your intense illness and recovery, is there something in your life that you gave up after getting healthy again that you tend to miss now? Um, yeah, there's a lot actually. Uh, there's a lot of things that I miss that I haven't been able to get back to. Um, Japan being one. Living in Japan, um, because it's very difficult for me to sort of work a full-time job teaching now, um, or doing anything like that. So yeah, I have for now, but I do intend to go back to Japan. I do intend to live there again. And you know, but as far as other things like that, like food wise, yeah, I mean, I love pizza. I think, but pizza is actually one of the worst foods on the planet, right? You got starchy carbs, so it's full of acrylamide and so on. You got the seed oils and everything else that goes with it. Um, like pizza and ice cream and stuff like that. But these are foods that they're setbacks. They stop me from getting to where I want to be. So it's really not that difficult to give them up, I guess, when I think about it. But when you go shopping and stuff like that, oh, gee, I wouldn't mind that. Or if you're watching something on TV and they're eating pizza and ice cream, you think, well, yeah, I would like to do that. I would like to enjoy that again. But it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. Activity wise, you know, I'm finding that I am even now still progressing to increase my activity, my mobility. Okay, mobility to me is more important to. Uh, I think it's more important what you can do rather than what you look like. So aesthetics has never been really a big thing for me. I don't really care about that so much. But whether or not you can move or what you can do is far more important. So I am returning to some training methods now. They like incorporate a lot of stretching and so on. Because I used to be very flexible when I was young, and that's something that I lost, especially going through chemotherapy and everything like that. My body got very, very tight. But it's improving, and it's getting better. So it's still progressing for me. I suppose as far as things that I've given up and miss, I suppose it's mostly food, activities. Yeah. Hey, Rick. How
Hey,
you
can you
doing?
hear me?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
As you can see, I've been digging through a very dirty and messy shop.
Fair enough. Yeah. Busy working.
Always.
How's Milton?
Milton is actually asleep on the bed. He's had his moments. He was a little bit aggressive a few days ago, but I think he just has his little problems because he hasn't been fixed yet. So we got to get him fixed one of these days.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. He has his cycles. Getting a bit blue. Hey, Happy New Year. You find that in the shop?
No, that was actually my neighbors. They had a get together, so I just
Oh, okay.
happened to drop in and but I found all kinds of stuff in the shop. I even made a little video of it, including
Oh,
my
cool.
dad's two bread makers. I couldn't believe those things were still there.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that must be a fair bit old then. Yeah.
That
Cool.
reminds me of my dad was so fascinated with whole grains and bread and all that. And I
Mm.
always said, I told my dad, I said, what are you making, concrete? Because those things always came out like little blocks. And I
Yeah.
thought, yeah, I guess you could build a house with those.
Making bricks. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the thing is, he wanted to make the bread as natural as possible. So it had to be just wheat and flour and the yeast, but it always seemed to be very hard. And then within a day, it was just solid. And I told my dad, that's the way bread is supposed to be. Bread
Yeah.
doesn't stay soft forever. I mean, traditionally, after you bake it, it starts to get hard. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I never understood the whole fascination with bread because to me it never tasted good. I never found it to be enjoyable in any way. I'd rather have a piece of meat.
Yeah. You're lucky. I quite like bread actually. I
Hmm.
especially the smell when it's baking. The smell of bread smells fantastic to me. But
I never liked it. We had a place called Wholesome Bakery when I was a kid, and I think sometime around 1980 they tore it down. They built a shopping center, and then down the street they had the barbecue place, which I believe was called the Bonfire Barbecue. And I remember we drove down US 1. We'd go past the Wholesome Bakery, and I'm like, ugh. My mom liked the bread smell, and my dad did too. And then when we got to the barbecue place, that's when I got really excited. Mom says, "Oh, I hate that," because she didn't like barbecue. My mom never ate a steak in her life. She hated steak. When I made her a
wow.
burger, I had to make it real thin because she didn't even like beef that much.
Wow. No, that's a problem.
Did you see the
Mm.
video that, oh, I'm sure you were there. You saw Amy make my heart attack burger?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Actually, it reminds me of in Japan. There's a little butcher at the train station where the main one in the city. Um, I forget the name of the shop actually, but it's quite famous, and they've got a burger there. It's about $70 US,
Hmm.
um, but it's 10 meat patties, like it's Wagyu beef meat patties. Okay, 10 meat patties with a slice of cheese in between, and on a bun like that. It's like it's huge, like it's huge. But yeah, I was thinking about getting that just to make a video, but maybe next time I go there.
Yeah, that's pretty extreme. I mean, the 4 patty heart attack burger, that's comfortable for me to eat. They have at the heart attack grill, I think they have what they call an octuple bypass burger, which is like two of those. But the reason
Oh,
I
wow.
invented the heart attack burger was sort of like how can I make the quarter pounder much more unhealthy? So it was like a double quarter pounder doubled. So it was a half pound. So I went 2 half-pound patties instead of 2 quarter-pound patties, and then I doubled it. So that's how I came up with the 4 patty heart attack burger.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Well, I suppose it depends on how you look at it, isn't it? Like I mean, the quarter pounder from McDonald's, for example, there's nothing healthy about that.
Right.
Yeah,
But I wanted to go beyond. I wanted to make it even
yeah,
worse.
yeah, yeah. Scare people anyway.
Yeah. When they see that monster burger, they think, oh, this guy's definitely going to have a heart attack. Nobody could survive eating one of those.
No, that's right. It says, yeah, that's the funny thing is too. Like you're 57 this year, or
I'll be 58 this year.
you'll be 58 this year. Most people probably think you're in your early 30, like mid 30s to maybe early 40s. And so, oh, this young guy is going to have a heart attack.
Well, we had a get together, a neighborhood get together. My neighbor next door, who lived there when I was born, she was telling the other neighbor that, in 1967, when they moved in, my mom was pregnant. So they were like, oh, I didn't know you were that old. I said, yeah, yeah, I'm that old. They always underestimate.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. Well, you don't have any gray hair either to give you it away. So,
That's
makes it
true.
difficult. Yeah.
It is true. I don't know if it's a diet or genetics. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, well, I'd say, well, it can't be genetics. I mean, your parents didn't live that the same way, so
That's true. I mean, my dad didn't really have much gray hair either. My mom had some, but she colored her hair, so it was hard to see.
yeah, yeah,
But the thing is that both of my parents wore glasses by their late 40s, and I don't wear any. So that's the one difference. In both sides of the family, everybody wore glasses by the age of 55. I don't think there's anyone anywhere in the family. I don't know about my grandmother. Maybe she didn't, but everyone in both sides of the family wore glasses by their 50s. And I'll be 60
yeah,
in a few years. So
yeah. Well, you're doing well, then. You're well ahead of them. So
I think so. Well, I looked at my dad. He had eye problems. He had glaucoma. He used to get itchy eyes and all that. He used to get athlete's foot, which I've never had. He used to get itching and rashes and warts, which I've never gotten. I'm trying to think, there was a few other things. High blood pressure. My dad always fought high blood pressure, even though he ate very healthy. So every
yeah,
time he went to the doctor, high blood pressure. Mine, as you know, is lower than normal.
yeah,
And energy wise, I have more energy. I have greater grip strength than my dad ever did. My mom had more grip strength than my dad. So every time he had to open a jar, he'd have to struggle with the little jar grabber, and they'd give it to me as a teenager. I'd go boop like that. And it was like nothing. And what
yeah,
else? I mean, there's a few differences, definitely. And I
yeah,
do look younger than my dad did at my age.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, grip strength is one of those biomarkers. They say, like, if you're going to the stronger your grip strength is, usually the longer you live too. So I
Mine is
think that
very
just comes
strong.
down to activity, doesn't it?
Yeah. Plus, I move around very quickly. They always said the faster you walk, the longer you live. Well, if that's the case, I probably live over 100 because I walk
No,
fast. I go cycling on my bicycle, 20 miles, never get tired, don't drink any water. You can watch some of my videos as I ride around doing different errands. And
yeah,
I've exerted myself digging holes, pushing cars. And what usually happens, the muscles give out before I breathe hard. That's always been, if
yeah,
I'm going up and down the stairs, a lot of times my legs will start to hurt and I don't get out of breath. So I must be in decent shape.
yeah. No, that's right. Yeah, so you're doing well. Um, I'm just gonna finish this question. Um, I think when it comes to anything that I miss actually from when I was younger, before I was sick, it's pretty much mostly just the activity, the things that I can't do now that I used to do. But that is improving actually. So like even now, I think that's largely to do with um, probably. I mean, yeah, there's a physical aspect of things as well, but mind as the mentality when I was younger, I never questioned anything either. I just went and did it, and whether it was it wasn't always the safest thing to be doing either. I did some crazy stuff, um, but Yeah, I think that's more of a different mindset as well. As you get older, you sort of you don't really want these things as much as you did when you were younger as well. So that that could be a factor there as well. But as far as food, it's really just pizza and ice cream, the best things that I sort of still every now and then would like to use, but I try not to. Um, Knowing your experience along with others here really gave appreciation in free life. Ah, thanks, Ruth. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you are very lucky to avoid pain. I'm sure you get your cuts and bruises and stuff like anyone else does,
Well,
but it's
I'm
yeah,
very sensitive. If I get bumped or cut, it hits really hard. Like if I stub my toe, even if I'm walking outside barefoot, I step on the tiniest little piece of gravel and it hurts, but it goes away very quickly. I'm very sensitive to any kind of touch, pressure, but it doesn't last. It's not something that's chronic. I get up in the morning. I have friends that complain how stiff they are. I have friends younger than me that have arthritis. And
wow,
again, some of these are healthy, so-called healthy eating, plant-based, whole
yeah,
foods, whatever. And they get mad at me because they say, Rick, you never complain about aches and pains. I said, well, I don't have any. That's
mm.
impossible. As old as you are, it's normal. Don't you take aspirin? No, I when you open my medicine cabinet, I need to make a video of it. There's cobwebs in there. There's a very old glass bottle that says aspirin on it. Half the label's been eaten off by cockroaches. There's a cough medicine that's so old, it's got a red jar. I don't know what that liquid is in there. And I think it's dated 1981. There was the original Alka-Seltzer in the blue box with the little foil packs. There's stuff in there that's so old, it hasn't been touched. I I don't use it, you know? One time somebody asked me for an aspirin. I pulled out that bottle of Bayer aspirin that was glass. They said, "How old is this?" I don't know. It was in the medicine cabinet.
I don't know how you're so healthy with all that going on. Anyway, you live in like the original abandoned house.
Everything's falling apart. This place is loaded with mold and mildew. And
Yeah,
and I have a chronic sinus condition and somehow I survive.
yeah,
It doesn't bother me. I think I got used to it.
yeah, yeah. Well, obviously, I mean, you have a pretty strong immune system too, very healthy. But yeah, actually, what you just mentioned there, like it's normal to have aches and pains. We've just normalized it. We sort of growing up thinking that 50 years old and we don't like. I was the same. Like when I was in my teens, like I never wanted to get to 50 years old. That was way too long. It was way too far away. You know, but it was a normal thing. When you're 50 years old, you have to be old and weak and feeble and you know aches and pains and help me get up sort of thing, and you need a walking stick and crap like that. But it's 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 just that we've normalized that. But there's no way, we don't need that stuff. We didn't have that stuff a couple of thousand years ago. What did we do with
No.
old people then? You know?
Well, the old people were productive. I guess you had to be productive until a few years before you kicked the bucket because again, I can do everything that I did when I was in my 20s. There's really no difference. There's not one thing. In fact, I can do things better now because I've had so much experience taking things apart, putting things together. I understand how things work. So not only do I have the same physical capability, but the mental state is different. And I have a lot more confidence now than, let's say, when I was 25, when I went to take on something. So I always believe that you should have like a factor of 7. Like a cat takes 2 years to grow up, and if a cat lives 14 years, that's a factor of 7. If a human being takes 20 years to grow up, a factor of 7 would be 140. So if you were like an animal in your perfect state, you should live at least that long. But of course, generations of oh, there goes my light again. Oh well, generations of damage and stuff like that maybe reduced it. But if you could have a factor of 5, let's say that you took 20 years to mature and then you live to 100, that would be
Yeah.
reasonable. So I would
Mm.
think 20 years to mature, 20 years to degrade, and the space in between should be the middle age. That should
Yeah.
be when you are at your best performance, which means that around 50 years old would be the peak, the way that
Yeah.
I see it. And then the decline would be very, very gradual. And then when you get to be 80, then it would go more steeply until you just die.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That makes sense to me. But like I don't know, people just tend to normalize things. Like recently, like the average age for menopausal women is dropping. It just keeps on dropping. Like it used to be in the 60s and 70s and so on. Now, then it went to 50s, and now people, it's common in their 40s and even 30s. That's just ridiculous. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but whatever. We just tend to normalize things instead of questioning it.
Well, that's it. People accept something they shouldn't accept. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of times I used to tell people, wouldn't it be better to just keep trying and keep putting forth your best effort than to just give up and say, you know what, I'm over the hill. I'm too old. I can't do it anymore. I mean, I
Yeah.
have pieces of equipment that are far past their prime and they still work just fine. You may have to use it a little differently. You may have to be a little more careful, a little more maintenance, fix a few things here and there, but it'll still do the job. I don't see why a person in their 50s can't perform very well. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Actually, I'm just gonna going back to that question there. Like that thing that I probably miss now, my flexibility. I used to be very flexible, but I'm working on that again. So,
Hmm.
I do miss that though. My flexibility used to be very good, actually. Like I could do negative splits before I did and did chemo and stuff like that. I could do negative splits and stuff like that. So,
Hmm.
but now I'm very stiff. But it's getting better. I'm still more
That's
flexible than most people now.
that's good.
Mm. I cried both times I've been so strange to be without pain. Yeah, I hear you, Jonathan. That's hard, man. I mean, when you're in constant pain, like the only thing that fluctuates is like the level of pain, and you're stuck in bed. It's so there are other things that you can do to sort of when you are mobile as well, you can get moving. You can also that helps to sort of forget about the pain for a little while as well. But when you're stuck in bed, that's pretty much all you have to concentrate on, and I think it makes it infinitely worse. It's really difficult, and it's such a relief when you get a good day that yeah, you do feel like crying. Like it feels amazing. Like you've just been uplifted, and like I'd have days where it was so intense and so bad that I just wanted like I thought, okay, this is it. It can't keep continuing like this. My body's obviously I'm dying today because it's just that intense, right? That I can't go any further. But then you'll have a day where it's like you wake up and it's like, wow, I feel so light. I feel so good. I feel so relaxed, and it's like it's like a miracle. It feels incredible. So, yeah, I hear you, man. It's a real when you do get days where it's not as painful, it feels amazing. Um, I'm prime for that feeling. Yeah, yeah. It's like being on shrooms. Yeah. The only thing is for me, it's not a lever you can keep puffing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I feel it all. It sensitized to it, to how it feels. Yeah, you tend to get used to those things too, don't you? It's like, and you have to take more and more and more and so on. You know, Rick's not in a shirt.
I
Yeah,
have one
first
on.
time. Yeah, first
Hmm.
time I seen you in a t-shirt, man.
I've I work like that normally.
Okay. Hmm. Um, if I know you, Rick, you'll figure out a way to repurpose the bread machines for cooking carnival. Oh, for sure. Why not use them like a deep fryer?
There you go.
Just fill it up with some lard and tallow, and yeah, use them like a deep fryer.
There you go.
Yeah. You might start making bricks. Yeah, might start making bricks. Why not? Yeah, it's the best thing you can do with flour is make bricks.
Mm-hmm. That's
Mm.
for sure. Make wallpaper paste.
Chiropractors, like I've known chiropractors. I had a Japanese guy in where I used to live. He was a chiropractor and nice guy. I did when I was a kid. I did go to chiropractors. Um, I don't see a lot of. I think I don't see a lot of like they're treating a symptom. Like when you have, for example, um, if you're sitting in a chair for a long period of time, for example, okay, a lot of people get that sort of slouched back, like they sort of arched back a lot. And you see a lot. This happened a lot in Japan too with um, rice growers. Rice farmers, they're planting the old way sort of thing. That you see these old ladies or old men sort of walking around at 90 degrees angle because they can't straighten up anymore. Um, with chiropractors, I think they're treating a symptom and not a cause because it's the muscles that actually give you. I mean, bones will give you some structure, but it's actually muscles that will shape it and like form your back, for example, and support your back. So without those muscles, like for your back, for example, you're just going to flop around. Um, so I think it's more important to treat the muscles rather than the bones when it comes to chiropractors. So you're better off with a physiotherapist, for example. I'm not taking anything away from chiropractors. They maybe can be useful for certain things, but at the same time, that's a symptom, not a cause. And I think mostly the muscle structure or the what you are used to, like your posture and so on, is the biggest cause. Your posture and body that's going kind of that's good.
Hmm.
Took me a year to realize. Oh, that's good. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, when you're on a plant-based diet, right, you're always tired. You're really fatigued. You're not getting the nutrients that your muscles need for recovery. Your muscles are sort of breaking down and getting weak, and you get tired very easily. So you tend to slouch. When you're tired, your posture goes down, and you like slouch and you relax, and you know the muscles are tired all the time. So I think that's if diet has helped you in that respect, that's probably why. So, the posture is very important for the way you breathe as well. You know, you got to open up the diaphragm. You got to breathe through the diaphragm. Otherwise, you're only doing like short half breaths, and you're doing a lot of breathing rather than doing just a few breaths per minute. You're doing a lot more breathing. And you'll see most of the population these days they overbreathe. They breathe like 25 times a minute. It's crazy.
Well, I noticed a lot of people, even at rest, they're breathing hard. I'm not quite sure what causes that, but it's definitely common.
Yeah, yeah, very much so. Yeah, these days it's very common. So yeah, I agree. I try to get out the house 2 times a day. Yeah, I get 1 to 2 good days per month. Okay. Yeah, that's not much, is it? 2 days a month, 1 or 2 days a month. It's hard. Mm. One of my quiet goals being carnivore is to avoid getting easy bruising on my forearms, like seniors tend to get. Yeah. Um. Yeah, like my old man now, like he's 83, I think. 83. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, you can just pretty much touch him on the arm and he'll bruise. They bruise very, very easily as they get older. But again,
Mhm.
I think that's just poor diet and lifestyle. Um, conditioning helps as well. I like doing some extreme stuff when it comes to like what they call hardening or conditioning. You know, these are there's always a hormetic stressor that you can use to train your body to deal with those stresses later on. Okay, so like icing, for example, or breathing, or whatever it is, there is always a way to do a controlled stressor. So like the Shaolin monks that, for example, they use a meridian massage sort of stick, like a collection of like something that's made of like a group of bamboo sticks, and they'll beat themselves, different muscle groups and so on and so on. And it's part of their conditioning. But that is a controlled stress, right? So that later on in life, you won't have conditions like that because, again, then they don't let themselves to fall victim to a comfortable lifestyle. And you see, some of these Chinese, like some of these older Asian people do incredible, things like mobility-wise, their flexibility, and because they've done all these, controlled stress sort of situations right throughout their life, and that's why you see like 80 and 90-year-olds climbing mountains to go visit a shrine and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Western lifestyle is just too comfortable for people, I think.
It can be.
It can be, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not that way for everyone. I'm just generalizing. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stresses in Rick's life that he's just used to. It's a common thing for him.
All the time, there's always something breaking, something that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, yeah. So it builds a resilience, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's it. And I'm not helpless. We get a storm or we get some disaster, I'm usually the most prepared. And well, for a couple of years, I haven't had any really reliable transportation. I've had to spend a lot of time on a bicycle, and it's fine. It doesn't bother me. The only difference is it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah, yeah. It's a little bit more difficult to carry things, but but you can still do it. You still
I've
do
done it. You can see some of my videos, some of the crazy things I've carried.
Yeah, yeah. So some of those riding talks, they're good. They're classic, actually.
There's not too many people that do that. The few people that do ride and talks, I've had comments, and they're right. They tend to breathe harder when they're riding. My talking is exactly the same whether I'm sitting on the couch or whether I'm riding my bike. The only difference is I may have to sniff more because, the vibration of the bicycle makes the mucus kind of loosen up. And then the same thing, if I talk a lot, it does the same thing. If I don't say anything, I rarely get it, but it's just that vibration that shakes it, and which is fine. I mean, that's just part of the way that I'm made, but I never get really tired. My muscles wear out before I ever breathe hard.
Yeah, well, that's good. So many riding talks for me to get that one. Yeah, me too.
Well, it's an easy way to make a video. I don't have the setup and I don't have the time to edit. So I just stick a phone in my pocket and ride and then make a video out of it.
Yeah. I've been very idle past 2 months or so, with a holiday-induced work slump in drywall construction. Yeah, fair enough. Construction is very seasonal sort of work, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because of my way of eating, I tend to stay loose and don't gain weight. That's good. I'm ready. That's good. Yeah, I think as long as you got a good healthy diet, like carnivore diet, you don't have to worry about weight so much, and it's just you're always ready to go. But like Rick was saying, like he's always ready to. He always has something going on. It's the same thing, like physically, like health wise. If you have these controlled stresses in your life, it builds a resilience that you will have, that will stay with you as you get older. And that's really what it's all about, isn't it? Because you don't want to give up mobility
Mm-hmm.
and ability to be able to look after yourself as you get older. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm putting in an engine in my truck, working on picking up heavy things and all that, and I don't have a problem. There's
yeah.
no reason. I mean, somebody in their 50s or 60s should still be strong enough to take care of themselves. It I don't think the problem should come until you're maybe late 80s or maybe 5, 10 years before you're going to die. And even that, I've known people that are in their 90s that were still walking and still doing things. It's not
Yeah.
like you all of a sudden can't do anything. You just have to
No, that's
slow
right.
down a little bit, but not a lot. I don't think that
Yeah.
any healthy person that's not otherwise paralyzed should not be able to at least walk, sit down, stand up, and take care of their own needs.
Yeah. No, that's right. No, I agree. Um, Even, I mean, we all have a different path. We all have these, and there's always different factors that come into these sorts of things. And um, like, but ideally, yeah, I mean, like, you want to be able to drive the wheels off it until you just have a heart attack and just fall off the perch, sort of thing. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be, you don't want to spend the last few years stuck in a hospital bed or family members' spare rooms or something like that, being ignored. So I think it's whatever it is, whatever kind of stress that you have, like if you build up a certain amount of tolerance or resilience, make yourself stronger now. You won't have to worry. It won't be so bad for you later on. If I leave the desk chair where the computer is and move to the couch and watch from a distance, I do not mind getting up every 8 minutes or so to skip, the frequent YouTube ads. Uh, I don't get stiff. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the cool thing about not having a remote control, isn't it? you know,
That's
that's
right.
one of the things that another comfort, like everyone has this remote control, but like when I was a kid, we used to have this little tiny sort of black and white TV, and if you wanted to change the channel, you had to get up and dial, turn a dial, and if you wanted to turn it off, you had to get up and push the button, and so on. So yeah, kids today, no idea. Just push a button. Don't have to get off the lounge at all.
I think I still have that old black and white TV I used to have.
Wow. Yeah. Mm, yeah. I haven't seen one of them for a long time, actually.
I think it's up in the crawl space. I stored it years ago. We never threw it out. I think it was so cheap. They bought something and it was like $8 for this little
Wow.
TV and maybe about that
Mm,
big. And I had that in my room for years. I used to watch TV on that. It wasn't until I found another TV that was color and then I changed it.
yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I suppose looking back, like, I mean, no TV is healthy, but the old black and white be a lot healthier than the big blue screens now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool. They were pretty tough too. Like there's big box TVs, like the big, like that had the big, with tubes and everything like that in it, and big box around it. That was strong. Like if you didn't get a channel properly, you could go up and hit the damn thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
When the TV was going bad, we used to hit it to get it to work and tap it.
yeah. Give it a smack over the head. Bang, 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 pound on it, pound on the side. It's like,
And
why
remember
aren't you
with the old
working?
TVs, they had a tuning knob. You had the channel and then you had to turn the
Right.
tuning knob a little bit.
Mm. Yeah, you had to tune it manually to get that perfect picture sort of thing. And then when
And
it
then as
didn't
soon
work,
as
you
you went to sit
punch it.
down, the picture went bad.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The old rabbit ears and so on. Yeah. You just
Mhm.
sit down, you got a perfect picture. And then you let go of the antenna, and the picture goes fuzzy again. You touch it, and it goes perfect. So you had to stand there next to the TV watching, holding the antenna.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, some crazy stuff, but completely different to nowadays, isn't it? So, no, well, yeah. Do you still watch TV though?
No, I don't watch TV. The only thing I watch is basically on maybe YouTube, and other than that, I'm just doing things. I don't watch TV anymore. I do watch the news occasionally before I go to sleep.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose the news is good for a laugh, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I watch it for the weather.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. No, that's cool. It's really just nothing worth watching these days anyway on TV. And it's nothing you can't get on the computer anyway. So,
That's it.
yeah. Mm.
I mean, back then it was a newspaper and the TV, and that was it.
Yeah, that's right. Mm. Yeah, so actually, I did. It was kind of fun, actually. You sort of looking back, you think like, why isn't the TV working? So you give it a punch. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to help, right?
Yeah.
You start beating on it, but yeah, that's going to make it work better.
There's actually a tool. I have it here somewhere that you tap things to see if the electronic components are bad. I don't know what I did with that. I had it here a little while ago. Oh well.
I remember as a kid, actually, I think it was my older sister. I can't remember who it was, but she got so upset with my brother and I watching TV. She picked up the TV and she threw it out the window. Right. The funny thing is, right, it's just an old black and white TV, little box thing. We just picked it up, plugged it back in, and kept on watching it. It was fine. It worked fine.
That sounds about right.
It was classic. I mean, they were built to last back then. You know, they were built strong. But you imagine like throwing one of those plasma screens out the window.
Crack. You crack if you even bend it the wrong way.
No, that's right. Yeah, it was funny. Speaking of rabbit ears antenna, made me remember a talk of women making rabbit ears with their legs to certain situations. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, yeah, the old rabbit ears antennas, and you know, it's. Yeah, I can remember many a time just watching the after school cartoons. Standing there holding the antenna because every time you let go, the picture go bad. Sort of thing. Standing over it, and you end up watching it upside down.
Sometimes we put aluminum foil on the antenna.
Yeah, the aluminum foil that worked well. That's all good. Yeah, fun memories that kids are missing out on today, I guess. But if you gave that to a kid these days, they'd just complain about it. Say, what's going on here? Yeah. Oh well, it is what it is. It's all fun. I think it's far less addictive than what it is today. So,
I don't know. I don't really find anything addictive.
Yeah. Yeah, you're one of those lucky few.
I seem to be the exception to many rules. I'm an advertiser's worst nightmare.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, I can imagine you being the their study group, being in their study group. Say, what's going to sell this year? So I think that's like not.
If I don't need it, I won't buy it. It's that simple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can imagine how frustrating that would be. You're trying to get someone like Rick to buy something.
I mean, if you've seen me on the bike rides, the only place I go, auto parts, home center to buy materials, and the grocery store. I never go anywhere else.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. It's all good. And the parking lot and dumpsters.
Well, you never know. You find some tasty chicken or duck or iguana, and the dumpster's always got a surprise in it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the old mystery meat.
There you go. In fact, I just found one of these magnetic stripe programmers in the dumpster.
Oh wow.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but I got to find a power supply for it. But I used to use those magnetic cards for locks and stuff like that, but I haven't used it in a while. I still use mostly the old-fashioned keys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not many people use keys anymore either, do they? Oh well, it's a changing world. Everything's always changing and progressing, isn't it? So it's all good. Um, I noticed that actually you got some ducks coming back. Are they coming back into the yard now?
They came back. I mean, I hope that they're getting to be more familiar with the yard.
Yeah. Oh,
It's just
cool.
a matter of time. I got enough duck food. I can lure them in.
Yeah.
If I
Bring
can
them
get
into the
them to
trap.
start breeding, I'll be happy.
Yeah, yeah, that's all good. You got rid of the raccoons, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So,
deported them.
uh, yeah.
I trapped four
Fair
of
enough.
them. I took them many miles from here,
Oh, good. Mm.
load them in the
Yeah, it'd be
van,
good.
and off I
Good to have
went.
the duck. Mm. We actually lost the duck, and one of the chickens actually, one of the chickens that was getting so old it just couldn't walk anymore. So I put I took his head off the other
Mm.
day. So
Cooked them.
no, I just that one was just buried. It's too old.
Oh, no good.
Mm. Yeah, no good. It's like 12 years old.
Oh, I didn't even know they lived that long.
Yeah, yeah. It's probably actually it's one of the longest living one I've ever seen. Actually,
Hmm.
to be honest, but I don't have that much experience with chickens though either. But this one was very old. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like eating shoe leather, you know. So, so yeah. But yeah, we lost the duck. Actually, we used to have a really big white Muscovy, but he just disappeared one night. I'm not sure what happened to him, but
Huh.
several months back. Mm. Might have been taken by a dog or something.
Could be
So, mm,
predators.
yeah, there's a lot of predators out here too. So,
Mm-hmm.
but we've got a couple of hundred other ducks. It's not too bad.
That's good. Plenty of
Yeah,
ducks.
plenty of ducks. There's the ducks that we have. Like, we do have wood ducks, but we've got most of them are wanderers. They're called whistling wanderers. They're native to Australia. They're just but they're not much bigger than probably maybe double the size of a pigeon. So not
Hmm.
big, but they're not that small either. Not too
Mm-hmm.
bad. But there's a
Hmm.
couple of hundred of them, so not going to starve. That's for sure. George, how you doing, my man? Good to see you, mate. Good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. There's I forget her name, but there's a lady on a friend of George's. I think it's called Crochet Carnival, Crochet
Oh,
Grandma
yeah,
Show.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she made a song about me the other day, so I thought that was really touching.
Really?
Yeah,
Was on our channel?
yeah, she has a channel. Actually, I'll take you over and show it to you because it's quite cool. Let me see. This there is. See if I can find it. Um, Actually, someone was talking about Lee Copus just before there too. Um, you know Lee Copus, don't you? The Kent Carnival.
Hmm.
Yeah, he lost his colon in his
Right.
20s. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He does some good work.
I think recently they took the last of it out, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah. I think several months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, trying to find this. Where is it? No. Let's see. So what do you got going on anyway, man?
Main thing is trying to get the other engine ready for my truck. I've been trying to take the old one apart. I have two head bolts that will not come out. So I may have to weld nuts on it, but then my shop is in total chaos. So I decided, let me take some time out and keep cleaning my shop. Once I get off of this, I'm going to go back there and try to get the rest of that stuff put away. I was trying to clean the countertop off and the shelves so I can find my tools again because it's just a giant mess out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. So you got any big plans for the year then?
Um, well, I guess once I get my truck running, I may start driving around a little more and trying to decide where I'm going to move to. I don't know yet.
Ah, Barbara. Barbara is her name. Yeah, Barbara.
Yeah.
She made a song. I thought it was really touching. It was very nice for her to do that. So, yeah, Lee is one of the most active carnivores in the UK. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's a great guy. Yeah, I suppose when you're mobile, I mean, it's makes it going to make it a lot easier and get your truck going.
Oh yeah. Well, it'd be like it used to be. Although I have
Mm.
been getting around town mostly on the bicycle, I'll probably still do some of that for the short trips. Some trips are faster that way, but when I work, I use my van, but my transmission in the van, it needs to be rebuilt. I need to do a few more things on the van. Plus, I need to get a junk van so I can cut out around the windshield, weld in some metal for what's rusted. And when I'm done with it, realistically, I'll have a truck that was even better than before because when I took the engine out, I found out that the cylinder walls are scored. It looks like it was overheated long before I got it. And it's been 18 years since I first got the truck, and it's always had those issues. But now that I have a better engine, I think it'll fix that. And then my van, once I fix the transmission, that'll be good. I do everything myself. I always joke to everybody, I've never had a mechanic, electrician, plumber, or anyone else to do work for me. I don't even go to the doctor, and I haven't been to the dentist since 1986. So I guess I'm the ultimate do it yourselfer.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. No, that's good though. I mean, still, obviously, like structural wise, your trucks and vans seem to be okay. So you just
Mm-hmm.
fix up the running gear, and you should be
The
good to
rust is
go.
not that bad. That's true.
Mm, mm. They seem pretty solid. Hey, George, is ready to say goodbye. Oh, goodbye, Cynthia. I'm done doing some rebounding and need to start bothering my husband. Yeah, it's my daylight. It's my day's highlight. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most women get uh, most of their the highlight of their day is to nag their husband doing something like that. Yeah. Well, have fun, Cynthia. I hope you enjoy it, and good luck to your husband. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Actually, it's been good. Been a nice long chat today. So, um, yeah, some of the other things like I think it's good to see. I mean, there seems to be a lot. Everyone gets like a mad rush of energy at the beginning of the year, don't they? It's time to start this, and it's time to start that. Um, and that's kind of a good thing. I think it's kind of difficult to keep that momentum going. See you, Cynthia. Take care. Um, but I think it's very good to when you do. I think starting is probably most difficult for most people. And if you, like I said before, if you have a routine that becomes habit, you can those habits will make you successful in whatever you are doing. So I think it's rely on momentum as well. Start small. Don't. I think everyone gets excited when they start something new and they just like go jump in and do like nothing but this, and they get sort of burned out. Later on, like next month, they'll sort of burn out and say, "Well, it's not happening. It's not going fast enough," sort of thing. So, but if you start small, and like I say, always stick to the stepping stones. Don't skip a step. Stick to each step, and just know that what you are doing, like you said, you before also is like the way to um, get to the point where you enjoy doing these stresses, for example, is to when you are doing it, actually realize, okay, I'm doing this because of this result. This is the result I get from this. So this is why I like doing this. Tell yourself that I enjoy doing these things, and let that momentum carry you. Okay, that momentum will take you through the rest of the year. Okay, I did talk about protocols last time I did a live, and I just put up a video for members. Protocols for icing and breath work before training and after training, and so on. So feel free to check that out. It's also a great routine for anyone who just wants to improve their health and lifestyle throughout the year. You know, make the first thing you do in the morning a bit of a stressor. I'm just going to change my camera. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. If you get that small stressor in the morning, like icing or just cold shower, you raise your cortisol levels. That's what you want, okay, to wake yourself up. It's better than a coffee, okay, much healthier, and also great for your testosterone, okay, whether you're male or female, okay. Women need it too, okay. So keep on doing that, and just stick to that, and see how you feel. Try it. That's what I say. So, just, if you have any questions, guys, while we're waiting for Rick, please let fire, and I'll try to answer them. So after this, I'll be getting on for the rest of my day as well. So we'll be saying goodbye soon anyway. Okay. But apart from that, also, this is the first live this year. Okay, so I do really wish you all, and all of my subscribers and all of my members and everyone who interacts with my channel, your support over the years has been remarkable. I mean, you are the reason for me to do this, the reason for me to put information out here, and for me to continue to do so, continue with using the YouTube stuff. It is for you, and that support has helped me a lot. So I really do appreciate it, and I wish you all the very, very best for 2026. And I know there's some tough times around the world going on, but we can't let that stop us. We still need to get on with our lives, and I think the best way to do that is to focus on ourselves, for at least 90% of the time, because you can't help people if you are sick and haven't got things going on for yourself. So don't be afraid to focus on yourself. It's not selfish. It's a healthy thing to do. You need to be able to maintain your own lifestyle. Okay. So enjoy yourselves, enjoy life, and as much as you can, take the small wins and go with it. Let those small wins carry momentum for you for the rest of the year. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to check on something. Let's see. Okay. Now, as far as anything else that's going on for this year. All right, Josephine, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. After Rick, I need to get a few things done before lunch. Great. No worries, Josephine. You have yourself a great day and great year, and take care. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate your support. So, it's been great. Actually.
Oh, not Milton.
Not
Hey, Milton.
Milton's back.
Come here. Look at Milton. Look at Milton. Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
He's a
getting
cutie.
big.
Look at that, Milton. Say hello, Milton.
Hello,
He woke
Milton.
up.
Hey, little one. He's getting big, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a little menace. Yes, he is. Cute little kitten. Yes, you are. We got to get you fixed. That's the main thing.
Oh, the poor guy. Let him have a bit of fun. You sound like you're busy, mate.
Thing got super.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll pick up again. Actually, we got to catch up for a we'll have a live conversation again sometime soon, eh?
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. It's been a while. Mm. What big eyes you have, Milton. Yes. You be careful. He might end
Mm-hmm.
up eating you. Yeah. Yeah.
Thing about
He's
him, I
beautiful.
have to be nice to him because if I ignore him, he will go after me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the cats are they're funny things too. They will they want you when they want you, sort of thing. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
when I was like in my 20s, I used to have I used to have a pet cat that, like, if I was working on the computer, it would come up and it would lie on top of the keyboard, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because it wanted attention. But then other times when I was relaxing and suddenly I just wanted to pick up the cat, and it's like it would tear your arm off because it just doesn't feel like it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they are tricky. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There he is sitting on the lounge. Yeah.
That's when he's normal. When he gets to be anxious, he'll follow me around. And if I don't pay attention to him, he'll grab my leg.
Yeah. I'm going to work flat out until June. Then I need a month off, as we've got 2 UK meetups, June 13 and 4th, July 4th. Several visitors from America, I guess. Yeah, including Dr. Kiltz. Oh, Dr. Kiltz, very cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully sometime this year we'll be, Geoff and I will be doing another meetup as well in Brisbane, and hopefully we'll get someone like that to come over and speak as well. It'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I'd love to get over to America and do one of those big, see one of those big meetups. Maybe go like you did in Florida, Rick.
Hack your health.
Yeah, hack your health thing.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Was that? I mean, you obviously enjoyed it. What was your favorite part about that?
Uh, favorite part? I guess just meeting people that I'd seen online that I'd never met in person.
Yeah,
So that was probably the favorite part.
yeah. Oh, that's good. Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we've both got some things to get done, so I think we'll leave it there tonight. And
There you go.
yeah, thanks for joining me, Rick. I really appreciate taking time out. And yeah,
Anytime.
we'll have to set up a time and have a proper conversation sometime, because I always enjoy talking with you. It's
Yeah,
always
let's
been a
do
lot of
it.
fun. So mm, we'll catch up again soon, eh?
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. I hope you all stay well, stay safe, and keep eating meat. See
Definitely.
you guys.
All right.